Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country in case you are out of the republic. Let us begin this video by asking ourselves one question. And I honestly want to read your opinion. Do you think Rigathi Gachagua, Kithure Kindiki, Raymond Omolo, Millicent Omanga, and Josephat Kome, the IG of police, can arrest Raila Odinga during the demonstrations in the absence of William Ruto? Because from what I'm gathering, there are plans to arrest Raila Odinga tomorrow. But can they really affect or effect the arrest? Today, several things also took place in this country. Number one, William Ruto left the country. And I did a comprehensive analysis about the political objective of the trip to Europe. Number two, the police IG, the Inspector General of Police, outlawed Raila Odinga's protest. According to Josephat Kome, no Azimio rallies will take place in the country. And the third thing which also took place is that Raila Odinga then responded to Josephat Kome. And according to Raila, he challenged them to come and arrest him because he will be leading from the front tomorrow. But something funny also took place. Rigathi Gachagua convened a meeting with the security chiefs of the country. And what they discussed there is something which majority of Kenyans are asking. But the worst thing which also happened today was the letter by Professor Kithure Kindiki. Kithure Kindiki is recommending certain changes to the constitution on how Kenyans should demonstrate. Because the constitution of Kenya gives demonstrators a right. You just notify the police, you go outside there. Kithure Kindiki is proposing changes, which I know they are going to do in parliament, probably security amendment bill, which will probably outlaw demonstrations. And if demonstrations were to happen, in my view, their recommendations is that those demonstrations must have numbers, and they are recommending not more than 100 people. So for me, I'm reading that to mean that ultimately, William Ruto is making strategic moves to change the constitution of Kenya, to remove the term limit of the president. But time will tell whether I am wrong or right. But for now, I want us to look at Raila Odinga's shocking move, which actually caught Rigathi Gachagua, William Ruto, and the entire Kenya Kwanza by surprise. Raila Odinga today worshipped with a church in Embakasi. And then from that church, Raila Odinga went and met with Nyamakima traders. That meeting between Raila Odinga and Nyamakima traders, in my view, is significant politically speaking. So in this video, I want us to look at the political objectives of that particular meeting, why Raila Odinga met them, and why William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza are actually worried. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second. If you're watching it for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button, so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And I also know that there are several other individuals who watch these videos every day because they get notification, but they are not yet subscribed. Please just ensure that you are subscribed now. Now let us get back to the main issue. You know, Raila Odinga a few weeks ago issued certain demands to William Ruto. 3 demands. One of them is open the server. Number 2, stop recruitment of IBC commissioners. Now, the third condition was on the issue of cost of living. In fact, on the issue of cost of living, I've received several calls. Even yesterday, I hosted a live show, and even those who are in Kenya Kwanza are actually hoping that Raila Odinga should have just focused on cost of living so that Kenya Kwanza, those who voted for Ruto, those who voted for UDA, can actually join him. The challenge with that, let me just use this platform to also challenge you, to also respond. Challenge with that is that everything is actually political. So Raila Odinga has a political objective. And this political objective of this maandamano is the issue of IBC and servers. So there's no way he can leave those two out. But there's a general agreement in this country that the cost of living is high, and that if Raila Odinga were to focus on the cost of living alone, he would rally the entire country. And you also know that William Ruto and his team are also trying so hard to narrow down the demonstrations to Kisumu and to Nairobi. Basically, they want to make it appear as if it's a Luo affair. Well, we know, like if you read Kithure Kindiki's letter today, he's only mentioning the demonstrations which took place in Kisumu and also in Nairobi. Well, we know in Migori, for example, you had to carry a stone to pass. We know, for example, the guy who was shot in Maseno was shot in, Maseno is partly in Vihiga. We also know that there were demonstrations in Kakamega, but let us not get into that. Let us focus on why Raila Odinga actually met with the Nyamakima traders. Number one, in my view, I think Raila Odinga is keen on rallying the support of the Kikuyus. It's a strategy to rally their support, because there has been this notion that Raila Odinga's demonstrations is basically about Kikuyu businesses. You know, demonstrations, picketing are allowed within the law. But why is it that every time there's a demonstration, it's about Kikuyu business? Kikuyus are not the only people doing businesses in Nairobi. But let's face the reality. Our politics is tribal. So it's easier for William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua to rally the Kikuyus against Raila Odinga. So Raila Odinga appearing in Nyamakima, meeting their traders, basically means he was trying to rally their support. Nyamakima traders were the first people to hold massive demonstrations in Nairobi over the issue of taxes, over the issue of businesses. So Raila Odinga meeting them, if you ask me, it's about rallying their support, so which is also very important. Number two, I think Raila Odinga and his strategists are also keen on debunking the narratives that the demonstrations we are witnessing are targeting Kikuyus. Tomorrow, assuming the Nyamakima traders will join the demos, what will Rigathi Gachagua say? Because their expectation is that the traders in Nyamakima will be able to fight back. The idea is that they want to bring Mungiki, for example, to interfere. So I also tend to think that Raila is trying to debunk that narrative. And also number three, Raila Odinga is trying to assure the Kikuyu community that these demonstrations are for the good of the nation, not only the Luos, not only those who voted for Azimio, not only the Luyas, but all Kenyans, including the Kikuyus. So for me, that's the most important thing, giving assurances. Because why would Raila meet with these guys at a time when Rigathi Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro, and Kimani Ichung'wah are recorded to have met with Rigathi Gachagua at Rigathi Gachagua's residence, just to plot on how they could interfere with the rallies using the Nairobi business community. Remember, Raila Odinga revealed something which has been corroborated by others, those who are present during the rallies. I remember one guy in Bunge la Wananchi was very clear that there are people who are planted amongst the demonstrators, and the work of these people planted are strictly to destroy properties, so as to paint Azimio as violent. In Kisumu here, there is serious discussion that the people who destroyed this business, Pit Stop Dala, were actually people who were sponsored by the senator. That's the story which is going around here. to destroy that specific establishment under the disguise that it belonged to Felix Jalango. So Raila Odinga probably met with these guys to assure them that for them, their demonstrations will be peaceful. They won't target any property. And should there be any destruction to any property, then it should be people who are not part of the demonstrators. Number 4, I think it's Raila Odinga was just out to explain to them the issues which they are raising with the government. Raila Odinga mentioned 3 issues, which you all know, but Nyamakima traders are also talking of a specific issue. Their businesses, China Square. When the issue of China Square came up, they were told that China Square belonged to Uhuru Kenyatta. It was closed, then it was opened again. So I tend to think that for them, they've also investigated and realized that walichezwa. So this meeting was about the issue of China Square, the issues of taxes, and remember there was the issue of consolidation of goods, whereby traders would, if you are selling electronics, you sell Mutumba, you could ship them collectively from China in one container, then each one of your property, I mean individually, your luggage will be packaged. Then once they arrive here, then you'll be able to pick. So now they were trying to change that to ensure that no individual can do that. So I tend to think that Raila Odinga is also taking advantage of such kind of issues to rally their support. And lastly, I tend to think that Raila Odinga is also appealing to these guys to join the demonstrations. And that is the biggest worry for Ruto and Gachagua. Assuming today Nyamakima traders will decide, okay, as Raila Odinga will be coming from Kibra, another group coming from Westlands, then us, we are also going to come from Nyamakima as traders, moving and going. What do you think will happen? So, for me, Raila Odinga's meeting in Nyamakima was strategic. Whether it's going to achieve the objectives or not, something I can't tell as at now. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.